Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to another YouTube video drop here, and I would like to talk about a topic that I don't know if it's not been talked about or it has been talked about, so correct me if I'm wrong, but let's talk about Green Arrow. As a lot of you know, there's some people that's familiar with the character of Green Arrow, and there's some that isn't really too familiar with this character. But for me, the only reason I kind of started knowing more about Green Arrow is the Arrow TV show. If you haven't watched the Arrow TV show, go give it a watch, as it's a really good show. And, I haven't really finished it, but I plan on going back to it, maybe start it from the beginning to the end. But let's talk about how we haven't got a Green Arrow game just yet. The Green Arrow is such a known character, and he's such a beloved character. And I think a Green Arrow game would be nice to have. It would be refreshing, as it's a different superhero game. And I kind of want to touch upon, what type of story I'd like to see for it, and what type of gameplay mechanics I'd like to see added into it if we did get a Green Arrow game. So one thing I want to add is, the Arrow TV show, for its time when it came out, when they first was teasing that they were going to do a Green Arrow, I didn't know the character good enough. I didn't know anything about this character until I started watching a little bit more of the show, and I started doing a little bit more, I guess you could say, research of this character and his villains. But the Arrow TV show, man, I feel like with a Green Arrow game, if we had the same tone and the same aspects of what that show was, they could make a pretty cool Green Arrow game, and I think it could be done. It's also the same thing as like how people have been talking about how we haven't got a Superman game. And I feel like with both of these games, whether it's both these characters or it's two different other characters, I feel like the only reason we haven't got it is because they haven't been able to find a good story to tell. And I kind of don't blame them. Why would we make a game about two characters if we don't have a story to tell? Without a story, you really don't have a game to play. That's what people really play for. When it comes to story-driven games, they always look for the stories and then being able to connect with these characters that we see and that we know. But it's like I said, I feel like the reason we haven't got it is because no game company or the developers to any company has not been able to make a good story to tell and for us to see on our TV screens and consoles just yet. You look at Insomniac Spider-Man. For a while, people was wanting another Spider-Man game. Then here comes Insomniac in, whipping out Spider-Man 1, then Miles Morales, and then Spider-Man 2. And they've told really good stories with it. So I feel like when it comes to games like, when it comes to more of characters like, DC lineups, like, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Superman, when it comes to these characters, I feel like if it's gave to the right game company, then we'll see a story for it. And that's the only reason I feel like how we haven't got the Superman game just yet that people has been talking about for plenty of years now. But I feel like with a Green Arrow game, like, they should kind of keep a dark tone to it. With the Arkham Batman games, they all have a dark tone to it, if you ask me. And this is coming from somebody that's played all the Arkham games between Arkham Asylum, City, Arkham Knight, Arkham Origins. The only one I didn't play was Arkham Origins Blackgate, and that was, I think, for the PS Vita. And that was just because I didn't like the gameplay mechanics that they put on for the Vita. I feel like they could have done a different story with it, especially put it like for PlayStation and consoles and not the Vita. But the kind of game I would love to see with the character Green Arrow is, give it the same dark tone and aspects of what the Arkham games have. Don't make it kid-friendly. Don't make it one of those where it's like, let's try to please all the audience, and whether it be kids that love this character, I feel like when it comes to trying to please the audience and then also the players, I feel like there's a certain aspect and there's a certain thing that needs to be, a criteria that needs to be met. So I'm not saying that the game shouldn't be made fun for kids, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be made as a tone for kids, But what I'm trying to say is I feel like it should be a thing where it pleases at least a 50-50. It pleases some, but it's not going to please others. So give us a dark tone of Oliver. Now, would I want an origin story for a Green Arrow game? Preferably not. I would rather to have it kind of like how they did with Arkham Origins in a way. Or even Arkham Asylum, how he's been how Batman's been Batman for a couple years now. And he's a well-experienced detective and crime fighter. I thought with a Green Arrow game, we don't really need an origin story to see how Oliver became the Green Arrow, because we already know how Oliver's become the Green Arrow in the previous, like, whether it be different stories and comics, we already know. So why would we want to see a Green Arrow game telling a story of Oliver becoming the Green Arrow for a game? So why not have Oliver being a couple years down the line of being the Green Arrow, and he's already well experienced and he knows how to do certain things already? Why not give us a villain that's going to push Oliver to his limit and put him in a situation where, you know, like how the Arrow TV show was, how at the beginning he was killing people, but then right there at season 4, he kind of stopped killing people. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a couple years since I've seen the Arrow TV show, so if you know I'm wrong, correct me down in the comment section. It doesn't bother me. But why not have us bond with this Oliver, where he's pushed to the and he's taken to the test of trying to figure out, you know, do I go to a kill code or do I go to my code where I don't kill people? And I'm trying to be better than the people I'm putting behind bars. And I think it would be kind of cool to see a Prometheum storyline done as like how the Arrow TV show did. I think it'd be cool to see that character come back and it be the kind of like the main villain, but also with the Arkham, how Arkham games is done, where they gave us multiple villains for like side quests and shit. And I do think it could be done. But the problem is, the reason it probably hasn't been done, and it's probably not going to be done, is because there just hasn't been a right game developer to basically pick this game up, and then also DC give them the rights to make the game. Now, let's talk about, like, gameplay-wise, what I'd love to see. And I'm sorry that, you know, I'm not saying too much about what type of story I'd love to see, because I just don't know yet, because I'm still thinking about what type of story I'd really love to see for this character. So, forgive me, and I apologize for not really talking too much about story-wise. But gameplay mechanics, they could kind of go down the similar lines of what Arkham Origins and all the Arkham games have. Or, what they could do is go a different route and make their own kind of gameplay mechanics instead of trying to copy and paste the Batman mechanics. And I feel like it could be done. Especially like for silent takedowns and all that shit. So like for one instance that I had an idea about was like how Batman can sit on a gargoyle and do inverted takedowns, and just he goes down a line and just grabs the thugs and then brings them up and then drops them off the gargoyle and they hang and dangle. I thought with the Green Arrow what they could do is kind of something similar. Instead of doing what Batman does, why not have the Green Arrow himself shoot an arrow at one of the thugs, and then it kind of have like a grappling hook mechanic to it, and we pull them up and then knock them out and then kind of dangle them off of whether it be a gargoyle or a building. And I guess you could kind of keep the same interrogation system as Arkham games have, but at the same time I feel like there's really no like different way to have like an interrogation system. Gameplay wise, I think the fighting system, they could do something similar with what the Arkham games has done, or they can even try to do their own, as I said. And outfit wise, I think it'd be cool is like how the Arkham series is done, how we've gotten some of the classic outfits. I think it'd be cool if we got the classic outfits from whether it be comics or TV shows, movies, anything like that. I think that'd be cool to be brought into the game, and I would love for a Green Arrow game to have the Arrow TV show suits, because man, the Arrow TV show has so many good fucking suits they gave Oliver, and I love all the suits in that show. Hate me or not, but I love that show. I have so much love and respect for that character and the show itself. But it's like I said, I just feel like the only reason we haven't got one yet is just because there's not been a story to tell. It's like with any movie. It's like, look at it like maybe like Batman movies, like it'd be a trilogy of like Christian Bale or Ben Affleck or any of them, even though, you know, we're getting a whole new DC universe movies and shit, and it's gonna be in a whole different universe. Look at it like this as a director and then a game developer. Why would I want to make a movie about a character if I haven't found the right story yet? And that works the same way for games. You know, Naughty Dog, look at them. People's been wondering, why haven't we got a Last of Us Part 3 just yet? And Neil Druckmann has kind of explained that, you know, until there's a story to tell, we won't have one. Why would you want a game to be forced without a story to tell? Without a story, the game's not going to be fun. You know, that's the whole point of why story-driven games are so good and why a lot of companies pick these games up and work on them. They work on them because, you know, they enjoy trying to be unique and be creative with storytelling. You know, they try to make stories that drag the player in and makes them want to keep playing the game to see what's going to happen and keep, you know, at least until the end to see how that game's going to finish. And I feel like that's just been the case while we haven't got a Green Arrow and a Superman game just yet. You know, look at it like this. We're getting a Wonder Woman game, but the bad thing about that Wonder Woman game is we don't know too much about it, except that it's going to have the same, similar systems to what Shadow of Mordor had. It's going to have, oh, it's the Nemesis system. That's what it was. I had to think of what it was called. But I feel like that's the only reason why we haven't seen a Green Arrow or a Superman game just yet. But let me know, guys, down in the comment section below what you think. What would you love to see for a Green Arrow game, and how would you love to see it be done? And what game developers would you like to see try to make this game? You know, it doesn't have to be Rocksteady, because I know right now there's a lot of controversy going on with Rocksteady in this game, of how, you know, people saying this game is shit and it's not good. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to defend this game in any way whatsoever. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the gameplay. It's smooth and very fluent. Now, do I think they could do better things with this game and add more stuff in to keep bringing back players and, like, adding more missions and story? Yes, I do. And it sucks that we haven't got much of that just yet, besides of what we got for Joker, even though it really hasn't added on to the story just yet. But that's the theme of this live service game. It's supposed to expand the story over the next few seasons, so, and I feel like we haven't got that just yet because it's going to expand later on. But as I said, let me know down in the comment sections down below what you would love to see for a Green Arrow game. How would you want it to be done? And what type of system would you like to see it, like, be on? I mean, and when I say that, I'm not talking about consoles. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, like, gameplay system. How would you want it to be done, and how would you like to see it? Would you like it to have a similar vibes to the Arkham games, or would you like to go them down a different route and make their own gameplay mechanics for it? But I'm gonna end it here, guys. Thank you for all the support you've been showing me here lately. We're on the road currently to 300 subs. Right now we're at 263. And the only update I can give you about videos right now is I'm still working on build videos. I haven't gave up on them yet. There's still plenty of things I could do with builds. Do y'all want to see more Suicide Squad content or not? Let me know. But I am planning on expanding a little bit and doing different videos. And this is why I'm doing a video like this, because it's out of my comfort zone. This is something I usually don't do. And this is something I would basically do if I had a second channel talk about stuff like this, because this is mainly my gaming channel. But, you know, I like to bring different shit in, and I like to expand shit and see what I could do and what I can't do and what I'm comfortable with. But you can expect more build videos, and yes, I'm going to be doing more modded suit videos for Arkham Knight. I just haven't had the time here recently to do it, as I've been focused on personal lives, and I'm having to deal with mental health issues right now, as I'm having a tough time with being able to, like, just stay positive about certain things. And I'm on medication, so, and I plan to go see a therapist and, you know, and get fully diagnosed and figure out what's going on with me and get to the root of the problem. But yeah, other than that, this is the only updates I can really give right now at the moment. I don't know what other type of videos I'm going to do just yet, just because it hasn't really came to me and I haven't thought about it too much. But hopefully I'll do better. My mental health will get better, so I can still keep cranking out content like I am now. The only reason I'm doing it now is because this is the one thing that I enjoy the most, and it's the one thing I have fun with when it comes to YouTube. You know, I know I don't have a lot of views on my channel, and I know I don't have a lot of subs, and that's okay. That's fine with me. I don't do it for the money, and I don't do it for the glory or the fame. I do it because this is something I enjoy to do off the side in my own time. This is something I would love to see myself doing for a couple years, if possible. If God's willing to let me do this for a couple years, then hell, I'm down for it. But we'll just have to see how that goes. But I'd also appreciate it if y'all could say a special prayer for me and keep me in your thoughts and your mind as I'm dealing with mental issues and I'm trying to figure out how to go about it. And thank you guys for all the support. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys. Peace.